Hi, gentlemen. Welcome to the Tuesday Morning Hero podcast. As you both know, this is Adam and Kerschel. We're going to be breaking down all things fantasy football for Tuesday Morning Heroes over the course of the season. But today we're going to be kicking off the first episode of the Tuesday Morning Hero podcast by talking about the last draft we just did. So today we're going to talk about a little bit of that. We're going to talk about worst picks, the ones who sucked, the ones who did well, the picks we thought. Also going to be talking about teams we might want, but other than our own. And then we'll follow that up with some other picks with players we thought we would get, we did not get, those types of deals. And then, good question at the end. We're going to talk about how many hours is too many hours for fantasy football, which the answer is probably more than our wives think. So anyway, we'll be kicking it off. Again, just for the sake of anything, let's start it off with Kerschel. Let's talk a little bit about how many drafts are you in this year, how much work you went into the draft for Tuesday Morning Heroes.
So for Tuesday Morning Heroes, I really came in late, but I hit it hard. Like, it was all day Friday, all day, like most of the day Saturday. I was in it, and I don't know about you, and I'm going to give all the secrets to those that are listening. I did a combined kind of like the Alderman kind of strategy, but not as heavy. What he would do is he would take multiple rankings and put them all together, and then just use that composite as a score. Well, I went and bought 4 for 4, which I think 90% of us did. And then I did Establish the Run. That's Evan Silva, the guy who just did Roto World or whatever. And then I went and got Football Guys as well. So I went and spent probably more on just rankings than the entry to the league and prepared this year. Yeah. What about you?
So same thing, right? It always sneaks up on me every year. I'm like, I'm going to prep. And then like, it's funny you mentioned Cody, right? Because gone are the days of, in my mind, of like thinking I'm smarter than others. Especially like 4 for 4 and all these things out. So I went and bought one called from the Football Guys. That's their brand. And same thing. They have like this thing called like a draft dominator is what they use. Yeah. So I don't follow that as gospel, but I follow it basically as like my hard guide. And then I'll pick like top 2 or 3 guys that they think and go from there. But thing for me though, is like this draft, I had the number 1 pick, right? And we all like, I didn't know up until then, and I literally hedged on McCaffrey because in my other league, my money league that's a redraft, I went Taylor. So I was like, I'm not going down on the same ship if one of those guys just flakes.
That makes sense. See, the whole reason I took so we got to pick our picks, right? And I feel like I need to explain this to outside people, but I don't know. We'll have to establish if we're going to do that or not. So the reason I picked number 2 was because I thought I'd get McCaffrey because I have Taylor in 2 other leagues, right? Literally the league we just drafted. And so all my eggs are on Taylor this year. Makes sense. I also think we need to say how many titles we won. I feel like we just have to say our background. Yeah.
Well, God, I mean, these guys, as they're listening to this, I am the worst at fantasy football. And the funny thing is as you mentioned right before we kicked off that draft, that porting over the results to Yahoo, I don't even want to. Like, it's so bad for me. But I do have my name on the football 1 year. Yeah. A la thanks to you and Lamar Jackson. That was the Lamar Jackson year. So
you drafted, you went out. You drafted him 2 rounds ahead of ADP.
I did. I drink your Kool-Aid. I honestly. But beyond that, the only other league that you wouldn't know about or those guys wouldn't know about, but I do well on that. But that league is filled with a bunch of dudes that have no idea about fantasy football. So you can be mediocre and still be well. So not good, but 1 in TMH.
That's 1 in TMH. That's all I'm counting. I can't count the rest of them, right? That's too. But yeah.
Well, I mean, those. Yeah, so let's talk about. We can go through our picks, but I'm more curious on who do we think had the worst draft? Just overall, just like team blows draft.
Like every time they picked. And I think we might be in agreement because we were giving him shit the whole draft. Outside the first 2 rounds.
Sure.
I don't know what this person was doing. And it's Travis. Like I thought he came in I think Fournette over someone like Elliott or even the wide receivers there, with Evans, Brown. I don't know. I did not like the route that Travis went with his draft. And I mean, it really like came to a head on when he takes Pat Fryermouth or whatever, like way in the 8th round, right? I don't know. There just wasn't a good I didn't like the way he went about it.
Yep. No, Travis.
You?
Well, I mean, the low hanging fruit was Travis. That was not his draft, and I think he honestly would probably agree with us. He lost his way early there. I mean, I'm just looking through that team. You're right. Like there's some reaches there. The other one that I didn't love, and I won't love the team is I didn't actually really love how I'm gonna put Tony on this list.
Yeah. Yep.
And I get his strategy. He obviously went. I think his first 4 picks were receivers.
First 3, and then he
got
Akers in the 4th.
Oh, then he got Akers. Then he went back to receiver.
Yes.
So in TMH, right? Like depth is important, but it's probably the least important of most leagues, right? So like I feel like drafting that 4th receiver as your bench guy is a little bit of a reach. And then if you look at it, I don't love Mike Evans. There's just a lot of mouths to feed there. And Godwin is he's the better of the guys. I mean, isn't he? He's the hog to me.
Well, the argument for Evans is there's no more Gronk. Evans is going to take those goal line touches now is the talk. But I mean, I think Fournette wins that more than anyone, who I was just dogging before, and now I compliment him now. So whatever. But, I don't
know. And then, just the final, Akers is fine. Like, he's serviceable there. I mean, Miles Sanders, the jury's out on that whole deal.
Yeah.
And then you just look down, Hawkinson, I don't know. There's just a lot of question marks there. And I respect Tony's draft, by the way. So, generally, I think he's really on top of it. I thought he missed that one. So I would say Travis, easy one. Tony's my second.
I'm going to dogpile on Tony a little bit here. I like the 0 running back strategy. But you gotta draft 6, at least 5 running backs. He left with 4, right? It's Akers, Sanders, Stevenson, Penny, right?
Sure.
And none of these guys, like all three of the 4, and Stevenson, I mean, he's still too new to really know his health status. But all these guys have battled injuries in and out, right? So it'll be interesting to see. But one of the things that Tony's really good at is during the season play. So we'll see if he pulls it off.
Absolutely. He's definitely equipped to do this, and he knows his guys. All right, so I'll start this one off. I'm gonna kick it off with the best one. All right. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I liked my draft, which exactly means the exact opposite as I'm gonna have a shitty team, because I always draft bad and I GM better typically. But I'll tell you just my 2 cents on my draft is I loved my 2nd and 3rd pick. I loved it. I went early on Allen because I knew he wasn't coming back. And obviously with the swing, right? And
you
then
didn't think you were getting him at 3-1. Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I wanted Pitts initially. Like Pitts was my tight end I'm looking for. My stretch with my shitty pick I thought I took too early was sorry, I'm blanking here. Cook. I took Cook a little early, I thought.
James Cook?
Yeah.
Because he's one guy that can break. He could be a league winner, right? I mean, he's in the one of the top offenses. If he wins that job, he's more athletic than Singletary or Zach Moss, right? He could blow the top off there.
But the reason I thought it was too early, though, is like I always have a tendency about me is like, do I hold him long enough for him to pop off?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I took Burks too. I mean, late, so I'm not overly upset with that pick. But again, another rookie receiver that on a Tennessee who probably isn't going to put up huge numbers. That team is on.
You're going to drop him by week 2. Yeah.
Exactly. So that was a wasted pick.
but it was pick 11. Yeah.
Yep.
My favorite pick, and it's a little. I don't know. I mean, mainly because I wanted him and thought I was going to get him at 5-2 is the guy you got at 5-1, Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson's going to be a low-end wide receiver 1. I mean, as long as him and Stafford are healthy, write it down. It's happening.
Yep.
The other one that I liked, and I'm countering myself again, was Diggs at 2-6, because I think you're getting a guy who, when healthy, is a top 5 wide receiver in yards all time, and then he came in short on big plays and touchdowns last year. He's gonna pop off this year if health goes both him and Allen's way.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, I think though, just to put a cap on it for me, like you had a good draft. You had a good draft.
I like my team.
Your I like your team. Chase Edmonds at 7-2. That was a good pick there.
Well, the value already jumped up. Yeah, since then. The one pick I would redo, and it kind of seems like we're jerking each other off here, but I would take Pitts over Pittman now. Like, if I could do this again, I would take Pitts over Pittman.
Yeah.
Just, having the multiple Colts, having a guy that's not 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sold on him, but I am sold on Matt Ryan, so that's kind of where the pick came from.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing, too, and I relay this to Shane, is I would put Shane's hard to give a draft grade to because he drafts so odd than most. But I will say that you getting Lance at 11-2, it was a misstep on Shane's part. I think he should have slipped. I'm not as big on Wilson as I'm saying Lance has the potential to be a great fantasy quarterback. And I think Wilson, where he took him at, 8-2. In my opinion, I think he should have went somewhere else there and then waited for Lance down the road.
Easily could have. I mean, and I don't know if you noticed the quarterbacks that are still available. Like, no one took 2, which is the first time I've seen. Dak Prescott's still out there. Yeah. I mean, it would have been easy for Shane. Just like he didn't draft a kicker, he could have not drafted a quarterback. Like, that is a legit strategy now. Especially this year. You could have not drafted a quarterback and then just played whoever you wanted week 1, just like a kicker. Well, which kind of makes your Josh Allen just not quite a great pick. It's still a good pick, but not,
Yes. Yeah. I try to, so for me, I try to take away, as many decisions throughout the year as I have to make. So I get streaming quarterbacks, but I hate streaming quarterbacks because I'm always wrong. And Josh Allen's going to be my set it and forget it besides bye week, right? Like, I'm never going to think about it.
Just listen to Cecil Lammy and Waldman and Sigmund Bloom. I'm going to drop more names than Tahani in The Good Place, but those, I mean, you just got to trust your guys, right? I don't know, you can't really do that week to week though. Yeah, but you said, you're removing picks, right? You already have 3 guys that you're going to start every week, right? With McCaffrey, Pitts, and Allen.
For sure.
No questions.
Perfect. Okay. So let's see here. What's just quickly on that. So let's do, what's your biggest surprise pick? You maybe even hinted at it with maybe Freiermuth with Travis as a surprise pick there, but anything else stick out?
Like something more positive. And it's not as much of a surprise pick as I'm surprised at how I don't know. I was kind of surprised at Kamara at the 2-1, or Kamara and Aaron Jones. I really thought they would be earlier than your Adams, than your Najee Harris, right? They went 2-2 and 2-1. I don't know. That's just small. There weren't too many big surprises.
So answer this question, because I thought that was a reach too for Sam. So let's look at this back on this swing, right? So it's coming back. So he took Kamara over. Let's just do Swift, Barkley, or Jones. You take all those 3 of those guys over Kamara there?
Swift, Barkley, and Jones, yes.
So where's your line? Where's your line going back? So then it goes Chubb, Williams, Connor. Where's your line on him?
See, I think, oh God. Yeah, I think Kamara's coming in right off, probably right before Williams, after Chubb. I think.
Yeah. See,
but I mean, he hasn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I would say from my. Yeah. I'll say this. I think Connor fell. I think Connor was a good pick on Muse on 3-3 there. I like Connor.
Muse is going to be a guy. His team. He's going to lead the league in the highest points in a week. Sure. And then he's going to have no points in the next week, and he's just going to be pissed. Thielen's a touchdown scorer. Obviously, Connor scored 18 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
Jamal Williams, we don't know if he's going to blow up or bust.
Right.
Mitchell's a big play guy, isn't he?
Oh, for sure. He's off the top. Yeah. All right. Who would I say? What's my positive? What's my good steal there?
What was the question? Who's your surprise? What pick surprised you the most?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll say I have a couple things here. I'm just trying to decide between two. I'm going to say my best value or pick that I think was a great get. Again, I'm not jerking you off here, but Juju is Okay, yeah, no worries. Yeah, so again, not to jerk you off. Great pick, great value all across the board. Juju at 6'11".
Oh, I hope so.
It's a volume game. I mean, Here's the thing. Here's the wild card, and somebody said this, and I agree with it. Is like you take quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. These guys have constantly done it year in year again with any quarter or any receiver that's done it. Mahomes hasn't had that yet, right? He still has amazing talent there, but this will be the first year where he's got some different talent. But Juju, I was all over Juju in Pitt. Like I loved it, and so I think that is a great value there. I would say that. Say that.
Nice. I wanted
my choice. I'll die on this hill. I do not. I would stay away from Thielen, but you're right. But you're right because he's going to put up 3 touchdowns and he's going to get 26 yards.
Yep, and that's what I want is my wide receiver 3. Right, I want that.
Sure.
Like, I don't care. All right. Yeah. Now the next one is literally I just wrote down Michael Thomas. Right, he has been offered to me 3 times today. I traded for him one of the times. And literally, Sam, before this, he sent me just an offer for Michael Thomas for my number 2 pick, Michael Pittman. I can't find where Thomas was drafted here.
5'12".
5'12". So he wanted his 5'12" for my 2'11".
Sam, if you're listening to this, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? That's not a good value. Don't do that.
Yeah, I countered with Adams for Pittman. So we'll see. We'll see if that goes, because that's his 112.
Sure. That's at least in insanity world. What is just real quick? I haven't stayed up to breast on Michael Thomas. What's his whole shtick? Is he's coming in ready to go?
Yep, he's ready. He looked really good. Now he's got a hamstring injury, but I was listening to the football guys, the Audible, right, and they were saying that they think they're all in on Michael Thomas. They think that they're just resting him. Now they know what they got with Michael Thomas. They're not going to risk him getting hurt or anything. So now they're resting him, and they're going to hit it full bore come season. So they're talking like high wide receiver 2. Low wide receiver 1 numbers for Michael Thomas, like old Michael Thomas. And this guy, like, how old do you think Michael Thomas is?
I'm going to guess, God, he's probably younger than I think, but I'm going to still say 27.
Oh, okay. I always thought he was 30. Like, I thought he was same age as Hopkins, right? No, he is 29, right? So 29. He's a young guy, hasn't hit that 30 yet, right? Because, Hopkins is 30. I think they're the same class or one off. But,
yeah.
He's still got some good football ahead of him because that ankle is fully healed, and they said he played a whole year on a bad ankle. So we'll see. Now I'm talking about Michael Thomas, and I won't get him in TMH now.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead.
Can I lead this one?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I have one in this question. I put roughly in the rough draft. So. As you guys know, Adam is a trusted business leader in our community, right? He runs a good business. I'm just a lowly peon who, does what other people tell me. So my question is at what point, how many hours is too many? Like let's say you have a magic spreadsheet that says how many hours an employee looks at fantasy football in a week. How many hours is too many? Like where you're giving them that pink slip.
I'm going to say too many hours on fantasy football is... Shit. And this is this is engaged fantasy football you're saying? Not like indirectly, like listen to a podcast while you're coding something?
Yeah, I mean, like they're legit, like sending off trades, sitting on the waiver wire.
Okay,
like,
good. Okay.
On their phone.
I'm gonna say if you're putting in more than 4 hours a week.
Okay, all right.
That's 10. I mean, that's just 10%. I just went 10% of your 10%, time.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah, I honestly, like, if I had to guess, I thought you were gonna say 5, and I was gonna be, that's a good answer. Yeah.
I originally was thinking 5, and I went just 10% for my simpleton. No, it is interesting. Like I said, hopefully as you guys get some value from this pod, we'll keep doing it. We're committing for the season, so like I said, we'll follow up every week with updates and try to do some waiver wire stuff. And like I said, I mean, I'm gonna give away information that I'm thinking too. So if people want to listen to it, we'll talk some strategy of what I'm thinking and how that goes through the year and that kind of thing. But no, hopefully this will obviously get me re-engaged. I don't know about you guys, but with COVID and stuff, I kind of got out of fantasy a little bit. That whole COVID year, kind of year and a half with football, just got me disengaged. So I'm excited to get back into this and get some information shared. And if nothing else, you guys can laugh at us and tell us we're wrong or right. But I'm going to go off script on one more question. All right. So right now, we'll date back to this episode 1. You have to pick your horse. You can pick yourself, but you got to pick your horse on who do you think is going to win TMH. Who's signing the football next year?
God. I hate to say it. No, I can't. You're putting me on the spot. Dang.
I am. I know. Yep.
I'm gonna go with Shane this year. I don't like Najee Harris, but other than that, like he had picks that I would have made the whole time, and I like as long as, I mean, he's gonna have to figure out something else at running back now that he lost Brian Robinson for at least a few weeks. But that's the team I like. I'm buying the hype on Komet and Wilson, and Sutton's gonna tear it up. Right, the Broncos stack is gonna carry him to glory. What about you?
Okay.
Who's gonna win it?
I answer this question by process of elimination. I know a lot of teams I feel like are going to win it. I am gonna go. God, I'm gonna say it. I'm fucking winning this year. I'm winning this year. Here's my wild card. Here's my wild.
Off the pod doesn't matter.
Yeah, my team is gonna hedge on Christian McCaffrey playing 16 weeks. I need him to play 16 weeks. Because if he doesn't, I have no depth at running back. I only drafted 3, and I got a rookie.
Yeah, you could probably make it if he played 10, right? As long as it's the last ones, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He's got to play 10. Okay, so there's our picks. I'm guessing I'm taking myself. Kerschel's being not as conceited, and he's gonna go with Shane.
I like
okay.
It. Yeah.
All right, perfect. We will. We're gonna do one more beforehand, right, or not?
Yes. We're gonna do next week. We're gonna talk more about Week 1 matchups, and
perfect.
Kind of maybe we'll make our picks there.
Sounds good. Okay, well, this is gonna put a wrap to the Tuesday Morning Hero podcast, episode 1. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. Normally, they won't be this long, too. We're gonna try to cut them around 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes on the week-to-week basis, but there's a little bit more to go through with the draft. So. Hope you guys like it. Thanks for doing this, Kerschel. I'm excited to continue it with you over the season.
Same. All right.
All right, man.
Peace.
Bye. Peace.